Welcome to the Cumbrian Wildfowler Bistro, a place of rare culinary delights. In this video we're going to show you how to prepare and cook a Eurasian green-winged teal, or teal as they're commonly known. I've spent about 20 years trying to catch these little ducks with falcons, and I've spent even longer trying to shoot them with varying results. I've less time to fly hawks nowadays, so I try and go out wildfowling as much as I can. The qualities as a sporting bird of these little ducks is matched only by their qualities on the dinner plate. So first, get your teal. This one died of a heart attack while it was laughing at my lack of shooting abilities, but still, net result is the same, a teal. You can't buy them in the shops, but if you know a wildfowler or a shooter, you might get a few given to you if you're nice to them. So first get your teal and pluck it, which obviously goes without saying. You take off the feathers. Usually early season in September, the older ducks are much better for the table than the younger ones. They seem to have molted earlier, so they're easy to pluck, and they seem to have be less stressed by the migration, so they're usually carrying more meat and fat reserves. Fortunately, you can't tell which are which when you're shooting at them. Just a word how to take the flippers off. The best way to do this is not to just cut them off with a knife, but to twist them and then pull. That way you remove all the sinews in the drumstick, and so they're nice, less chewy to eat, and a bit tenderer if you like to nibble away on the little teal drumstick, which you should do because we shouldn't waste much. So, and then you can just trim it up with a knife like so. Then it'll usually, when you've plucked them, they'll still be kind of covered in fine fluff, which you want to get rid of. And there's an easy way to do that. If you've got a little kitchen blowtorch, or like me, you've got a more powerful weed burner, but it also doubles up as a feather down zapper. So fire up your blowtorch, and just a few passes with the blowtorch at distance. You don't want to be careful, you don't want to cook the bird itself, but just a few light passes with the blowtorch will singe off any remaining bits of down and hairs and such like, and make the bird oven ready, like so. Quick brush, remove all the charred remainders of the feathers, and you're good to go. Now, next job is to remove the innards or guts from the teal. There's an easy way to do this. Get a very sharp knife, and at the bottom of the sternum, with the blade pointing upwards, just make a sharp cut. Sharp knives help greatly with this, and remove all the giblets. Yep, fairly graphic, but nothing goes to waste. I use these guts to bait up mink traps, invasive mink that lurk about on our waterways and cause great damage to our native wildlife. I use the duck guts to bait the traps to remove those. So there you go, an oven-ready teal. Now you've got several choices in where you go now with how you cook your teal. You can cook it oven ready like this, put it in the oven for 15 minutes, no more. You should treat teal like a good steak. It's red meat, it doesn't want to be overcooked like a chicken, and it should be, well, ideally, in my preference is it should be pink in the middle, so it doesn't take long in an oven. So you can cook it oven ready like this, just chuck it in the oven, and most people will know a good duck recipe or have a preferences for sauces that you can buy in a local shop or petrol station. Hoi Sin sauce, chow mein sauce, whatever you like. Or you can take it one stage further, which we'll do now, and spatchcock the teal, which turns it into a lower profile creature and makes it easier and quicker to cook. So you get some kitchen scissors or game shears. These are quite light kitchen shears. I really need to get some proper heavyweight game shears for little teal like this. These will do. For mallard, they're a bit lightweight. And so what you essentially do is turn the oven-ready teal upside down and cut up both sides of the backbone. Remove that, and then you can flatten out or butterfly the remainder of the carcass and essentially spatchcock it. Now, there's no meat on the backbone, but nothing goes to waste in my household because I've got a falcon that'll eat that, so every little bit of the duck is recycled. And so remove the backbone, you can flatten out the teal into a low profile that essentially is the same as a steak. You can treat it like a steak, fry it in a frying pan like a steak, just don't overcook it, or zap it in the frying pan in butter and then put it in the oven for 5 minutes. And to take it one stage further, you can remove most of the remaining bone and almost turn it into a boneless fillet. Again, a very sharp filleting knife or kitchen knife helps with this. You can run the knife around the side of the rib cage just to loosen it up, and I think it's quite soft. You can actually basically, once you've kind of got it kind of coming away, you can pull the breastbone away from the meat, and you kind of just create a boneless fillet. So with a bit of teasing, it comes away quite easily. It's actually quite fiddly to do with these small ducks. It's easier on mallard because you've got obviously more of a target to work around with the knife. But I found, certainly with the people and friends I know, that the duck is the more accessible, accepted wild meat that people will be prepared to eat, just because most people have got an association with duck, either eating crispy duck pancakes, duck spring rolls. People go down the Chinese on a Friday night and get some version of duck commonly, so I found that people are more receptive to eating duck as opposed to a pheasant or a rabbit or anything else. So that's the breastbone removed, and so we have a virtually boneless teal apart from the drumsticks, so that will cook very quickly. There's no need to overcomplicate duck just by themselves. You can fry them or oven cook them and they will taste delicious without any accompaniment or sauce whatsoever. But and I'm not saying this recipe is better than anything else, it's just one of the recipes that I like to do. But simply put, you can fry a teal or oven cook it for 10 minutes, or a mallard for 15 minutes, and you really don't need to do much else. But if you want to add a sauce, here's just one example. So to cook this teal, we just need to oil the skin. I like to just score the skin with a sharp knife just to reduce it shriveling up. Get a very hot pan, a cast iron griddle pan. I like these pans because you can chuck them in the oven after you've started them off. So get the pan very hot. I usually add the oil to the duck, not the oil to the pan. Get that pan smoking hot, and then add the duck fillet skin side down. You want to cook it mostly skin side down to start with, to try and get that skin nice and crispy. But you do not want to cook teal for long. It really is the equivalent of a thin steak, and it's red meat. You want to serve it rare. Well, certainly my preference is to serve it rare. You can add a wee bit of butter if you want. Butter always goes well with everything. Only about 2-3 minutes on the skin side down, and then about another minute when you flip it over, and then in the oven for literally 5 minutes and no longer. You really don't want to overcook duck of any kind. If you want to have this as a starter, 1 teal will do as a starter, or 2 for a main course. And then I just like to, probably because I saw this done in the restaurant I used to work at, when they used to start everything off, fish dishes, game dishes, steak dishes, they used to start everything off on the hob, and then chuck everything in the oven for 5 or 10 minutes. Now for the sauce, this is just one sauce, just one of the ones I like to do. It's shallot and pork. Chop up some shallots, melt them down in some butter. You can add any particular spices you want, depending on your preferences. There's lots out there. You'll all have a favourite duck sauce, but I like some Italian herbs. A bit of balsamic vinegar. Slowly melt those shallots down. You don't want to fry them, just let them soften up gently. Some red wine, doesn't really matter what type. Bird logo, keep it topical. Chuck some wine in, reduce that down. After 5 minutes, take your teal out, put it aside to rest for 10 minutes or so in a warm place. Oh, that looks good. You could eat that just like that. It doesn't need any sauce, but we'll do a sauce anyway. Bit of port always goes nice in duck sauces, just because it's quite sweet. Deglaze the pan with a bit of sauce. It gets all those juices off the bottom of the pan. Then you want to tip that in what's left of the sauce as well, and reduce the whole lot down while your duck's just sitting there in a warm place. You want to just let that sauce simmer away, just to cook off, let the alcohol evaporate. You don't want to taste of raw alcohol. Let the alcohol evaporate for 10 minutes. Let it reduce down and get sticky. Then slice up the duck into wee sections. Nice and pink inside, but with crispy skin. The skin is just as nice as the meat. Serve your duck up. As I say, one teal or half a teal will do as a starter. Arrange the sauce in any old fashion around the duck, and voila, enjoy. In future episodes, we'll do breaded breaded widgeon breast, the good old standard roast mallard, goose sausages, and anything else that you suggest in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.